Reading from Canto 10, Chapter 85, text number 6. Prana Adinam Visva Srijam Shaktaya Ya Parasya Ta Paratantryan Vaishadrishyat Dvayo Chesta Eva Chestatam Pranadinam Vishwasrijam Shaktayoya Parasyata Paratantra Vaishadrisyan Dvayo Chestaiva Chestatam Pranadinam Vishwasrujam Shaktayoya Parasyatam Paratantra Vaishadrisyan Dvayo Chestaiva Chestatam Pranadinam Vishwasrujam Shaktayoya Parasyaya Paratantra Vaishadrisyan Dvayo Chestaiva Chestatam Matajis? Translation purport by Disciples of His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Prana of the life air, Adinam and so on, Visva of the universe, Srijam the creative factors, Shaktaya potencies, Ya which, Parasya belonging to the Supreme, Ta they, Paratantriya because of being dependent, Vaishadrisyan because of being different, Dvayo of both living and non-living manifestations in the material world, Chesta the activity, Eva merely, Chestatam of those entities, namely prana and so on, that are active. Translation: whatever potencies of the life, air and other elements of universal creation exhibit are actually personal energies of the Supreme Lord, for both life and matter are subordinate to Him and dependent on Him, and also different from the one another. Thus, everything active in the material world is set into motion by the Supreme Lord. Purport: Prana is the vital air of life, a more subtle element than the ordinary air we can touch. And because prana is so subtle, finer than the tangible manifestations of creation, it is sometimes considered the ultimate source of everything. But even subtle energies such as prana depend on for their functional capacity on the supreme subtle Paramatma. That is the idea Vasudeva expresses here by the word paratantrat. Because of dependence, just as the velocity of an arrow is derived from the strength of the bowman who shoots it, so all subordinate energies depending on the power of the Supreme Lord. Furthermore, even when various subtle causes have been empowered with their capacity to act, they cannot act in concert without the Supreme Soul's coordinating direction. As Lord Brahma states in his description of creation in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Yadaite asangata bhava bhutendriya manoguna yada yadantatta nirmane nashekur brahma vittama tada samhatya chanyantam bhagavat shakti choditaha sat aswaddam upadaya chobhyam sasrujurihi adam. O Narada, best of the transcendentalists, the forms of the body cannot manifest as long as these created parts, namely the elements, senses, mind, and modes of nature, are not assembled. Thus, when all this became assembled by the force of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this universe certainly came into being by accepting both the primary and secondary causes of the creation. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhescha Kripa Shindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gatadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam, pangum langayate, giram yatkrapa, tamaham munde, Shri Gurum, Nirataranam, Paramanandamadam, Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Welcome to all the devotees to today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. I beg blessings of all the devotees assembled here. There are many who are far advanced than me. Since the service is given to me, I came forward to do some for my own purification and glorification of the Lord. If you see this shloka, like yesterday, Prabhu was mentioning about how everything depends on Supreme Lord. Even every living entity is dependent on the Lord. What is the connection? Yesterday Prabhu was mentioning is that Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishna Nityadas. How in our day-to-day activities, the one thing we have to understand is that our constitutional position is the servant of Krishna. Rest all designations, services, whatever you may say, they are all subordinate to that principle that we are obedient servant of Krishna in spiritual world. But however, because of our independent mentality, mindset, we think, now we are independent. We don't depend on anything. Because that is when we associate with the material nature. The more we associate with the material nature, the more and more our idea of, I am independent, it increases actually. That's why, if you see the science, we all use science, all our, whatever you do in the life, like our service preaching, gadgets, travel, we are using so much technology. But our acharyas are very clear that if somebody thinks technology is replacing God. That is very foolish understanding. See, basically, whatever Krishna has given, we are manipulating it and we are using it. Just like, suppose you want to, you want to use the mobile for calling some devotee for the class. So the already waves are there in the air, right? So now we are manipulating and, usko modify karke, we are using it. Now, if suppose there is no air in the universe, then how it will travel? The wave will not travel only, right? Especially that mobile radiation, right? So that's why if somebody thinks I am, creation or the technology is independent of Krishna, that is a very foolish proposition. Like here, Prabhupada, the devotee is right here. Because the prana is so subtle, so sometimes people feel that prana is very what is it? It is the sometimes considered ultimate source of everything. Because life is such a subtle thing, sometimes people will feel that that is ultimate source of everything. But everything in the creation is dependent, whether it is prana or anything, whatever you see, it is dependent on the supreme subtly Paramatma, the Krishna ultimately. So that's why the word here used is the paratantrat, because we are dependent. So now the concept is like this: we are anyway dependent. That's what our nature. So there are two ways we can do it. One is that we don't accept the dependence, try to be independent. Other option is that we accept that I am servant and then act accordingly. So it's like, somebody like that we say about the fly. Sometimes we get caught in the spider web. So the spider web, it get caught already. It's a negative example, but to understand. The more it becomes more and more, I am not going to bound, I am not going to bound, it gets more and more wound up actually, right? So it's not going to get free. So similarly, in our material life also, if you try to become independent more and more, it's not that, Lord will, the material world, will not leave us. So that's why the devotee learns the art of how to serve with dependency. That is the devotee strives in his life. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we see this in the first canto, 8th chapter. Like you see, Kunti Maharani was also telling, in the 37, text number 37, what she says, "Oh my Lord, you have executed all duties yourself." Because he has helped all the Pandavas to get the kingdom. Are you leaving us today? Ab chhod ke ja rahe? So we are completely dependent on your mercy and have no one else to protect us. Now, when all the kings are at enmity with us. So somebody says, what kings are there? Already Krishna has, arranged that, all the inimical kings are killed. But who are remaining now? Are there any kings remaining? Anyone answer? Anyone want to answer? Like Bhagavatam, we know, this is after the war of the Kurukshetra, all the kings were killed. But you see why Kunti Maharani is telling that when all the kings are at enmity with us, still there are some kings. What is the reason why she is saying like that? Any guess? Yeah? Sorry? Dhritarashtra is not going to anyway now do something. Yeah, the simple logic which Prabhupada writes here is that the sons and the relatives of the kings, who are we say the Janmejai, even this side also, they are in a mood of vengeance. They want to take revenge because mera papa ko maar diya. In Kurukshetra, all the Pandavas killed my brother, father, uncle. Though now the next generation, is going to come out. So this is the Kunti Maharani is logical. She is very logical. She is not telling that, because the reason is that she wants to be always under the protection of Krishna. And she is finding all the ways and means how to convince Krishna so that he will not go back to Dwarka. She was telling so many logics. So in this purport, Prabhupada writes very amazing, the nature of Pandavas, because we are discussing about the dependency, how everything is dependent on Krishna in this creation. It is a subtle element, or here Prabhupada, the purport says, whether it is living or non-living, both are dependent on Krishna. So here, like what is say, the Pandavas are the most fortunate because with all good luck, they were entirely dependent on the mercy of the Lord. So Pandavas kaise hai ki they are always dependent on the Lord. Even though like Prabhupada highlights how it is. This is a sentence which I very much appreciated. The highest achievement of perfect civilization is to work with valor, but at the same time depend completely on the Lord. I repeat the sentence. Prabhupada writes, the highest achievement of perfect civilization is to work with valor, but at the same time depend completely on the Lord. So this is can anyone relate what is the shloka? The same shloka is told in the Gita also. What is that? Like somebody has a valor, like Arjuna is such a powerful, warrior, but he depends on the Krishna's mercy. So Krishna says in Bhagavad-gita that nimitta matram bhava savyasachi. What is savyasachi means? Who is expert in shooting arrows, even both the hands. So Arjuna was such an expert and such a sense-controlled person, and at the same time, nimitta matram. Krishna is telling him, you should become nimitta matram. Because I am the doer. So, but you do it like, on my behalf and take the glory. That is how it is nimitta matram bhava savyasachi. So, this is the highest perfection. Like in our own day-to-day devotional service, if we really want to please Krishna, having talent or intelligence, energy, or hard-working nature, all these things are there. Like we all have some talent given by Krishna. Somebody is able to distribute books, somebody able to cook prasadam for the Lord and offer to devotees, right? And also we have like somebody is giving lectures, preaching, like different services we are doing. But if you really want to achieve some success in our spiritual life, so this is the secret which Srila Prabhupada is writing here, that we may be whatever, how much our talent we have in our life, if you are not dependent on the Krishna, then that is Shamayevahi Kevalam. See, this is the actual, when my own little bit practice of Krishna consciousness, I observed this problem, that whenever somebody gets, like some talent, and the talent is actually given to Sir Krishna's service. But what happens? Gradually thinks, I am able to do it. मैं fundraising कर रहा हूँ, book distribution कर रहा हूँ, preaching कर रहा हूँ. I am able to make so many varieties of dishes for the Lord. I am able to dress the Lord. Whatever service you take, everyone has a different talent. But when we take the talent itself as the, whole and soul, then we are doomed. So our acharyas give very amazing story, like, of children playing cricket. Like, there are some children who are playing cricket nearby one rich man's house. So that ball many times goes into the house of the rich man and he gets upset. Arey, mera kaanch toot jayega, mera gaadi kharab ho jayega. Like, he used to always chastise the children again and again. Then later on he was not, but the children were not leaving, he cannot file a, police complaint for, some 10-year-old children, So he was not ready to do that. But he was not understanding how to handle the children. This is a very interesting story, but it gives so many lessons. So one time what he did, he called all the children. When the ball came into the house, after, every weekend they used to come, every Sunday, wo khelne ke liye aate the. So one time he called all the children and he said, you are playing cricket, you are really working very hard, for playing the cricket. So what I will do, I will give you 100 rupees per children as a gift. Then the children feel, why is he giving? Like every time he chastises that, us, that, why you are coming here and disturbing me. But they were surprised. But children mean they want chocolate खरीदेंगे, they want pocket money. अच्छा हो गया, मेरे को पापा से पूछने की जरूरत नहीं है, यही मेरे को pocket money दे रहे हैं. So they accepted, all 100. So like that, every weekend, every Sunday, whenever they come, they are giving 100 rupees. So it became for a month. Then later on he said, अरे, मेरा share market गिरा हुआ है, तो मेरा इतना profit नहीं हो रहा है, तो मेरा I can give you 50 rupees now. I cannot give you 100. Then children said, okay, whatever you are giving, no problem. they are little upset that 100 rupees, it became 50. They accepted the 50 rupees. And it was again 1.5, 2 months went. Then he said, no, I can only give you 20 rupees now. My situation is not good. My financial gain is not very good. Then the 20 rupees, he was taking. And after 6 months, he said, I can only give you 10 rupees. So all the children got upset. Hare, what is this? We were getting 100. Now you are giving us 10 rupees. So is this, we are not going to play the cricket. So, and next time we will not come here. We are not going to play. Then you saw that how he wanted to throw them, but he did not do that. He only gave them money. Slowly, when they get habituated, then they said, abhi mere ko mil nahi rahe, main ja raha hu. So this is exactly what happens in our Kanishta Bhakta stage. Initially, Krishna has given some talent, some followers, whatever you can say in our life, or some glory. Gala diya hai, acha ga raha hu main. Or managerial acumen hai, I am becoming manager of managing administration. Whatever service you take. But initially what we think, that is given by Krishna to serve him. But what happens? We have to do devotional service. Either cricket represents devotional service. But later on, when that, the glory, attention is not given to us. Somebody was telling, I will not practice bhakti because this person is not glorifying me. Initially they were glorifying you. But you have to become self-sufficient, practicing on your, based on Shastra and, already given Guru words. But we get habituated of taking this glory and the credit, and later on, when we don't get it, then we give up the devotional service only. So there are many, like as I said, examples which I came across where people are talented. SriSriRadhaRasbihari ji ki jai, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai, Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. So that is how Maya can cheat us. Maya is not telling, within the devotional service itself, it will give you such amazing perks. We say perks, if you go to any company, there is a concept of CTC, like where the package is this much. And also they write, this is a perk, you will get a, whatever, canteen coupon or health insurance, this insurance, that one, or aapko gaadi milega. These are called perks. So bhakti mein, when we start doing bhakti, actually our main goal is to please Lord and serve, without any motives. But what happens gradually when you get these perks, so we get habituated of perks and we forget the real essence only. So one more interesting example, one devotee was telling me, like around 5-6 years ago. He said, like everyone likes ice cream in general. Like, so suppose there is an ice cream machine. Ice cream machine is there, and and like you are eating ice cream every day. After 1-2 months you came and you saw the ice cream machine is not working. So then you have some idea of how to repair the machine. So you entered the other side. Till now you are on this side. Now because machine is not working, you entered the ice cream shop and asked the owner, "Arey, kya chal raha hai? Kya hua hai?" Then he will say, "No, this is not working. Machine is not working." Then you get into the logic and see how to figure it out. So then you could, after 1-2 days, you could repair the machine with all parts or whatever. Then you become so happy. I could repair the machine. So like that, somehow that machine is faulty. So every week it gets some repair. So what happens? Every week you come for the eating ice cream. But what happens? You are habituated of, I'll get more glory if I repair the machine. So you get into repairing the machine. But what happens? You forget to use the ice cream. This is one devotee shared, but it's very like a simple analogy. So when we come to Krishna consciousness, we think that different service hum kar rahe hain, so we are getting some taste of repairing things or in setting the things. But if you think that itself is a goal of life, then we miss the ice cream, which is the actual practice of devotional service, which is the real taste. Susukam kartum avayam. That how. Our practice itself actually should give us that happiness, but our other things are giving so much happiness, we are forgetting our chanting, quality of reading, quality of, loving six exchanges with devotees, that itself is gone to the background. So just like we showed the children, they are coming to play cricket, but they got habituated of this money, and they completely lost track of their, we came here to play cricket, not for this money. So these are the two examples I found, that which are very self-explanatory and give so much lessons to us actually. That's why you see the Arjuna and the Pandavas, even though they are very talented and very sense-controlled, whatever, but still they never gave up the dependency on Krishna. So that is their real glory. So that's why Krishna told to Arjuna, because I am teaching this knowledge, because you are not envious. So in this connection, we can discuss, there are many types of surrenders or a dependency. There is one type of dependency called Mayavad dependency. What is Mayavad dependency? So like we can say in Lord Chaitanya Leela, this Ramdas Biswas. So he was chanting name of Ram. He was chanting Ram, Ram, Ram. He was always chanting. So some devotees were very mesmerized. What a devotee. Always he was chanting Lord Ram. But later on we see in the Chaitanya Leela that, we found that he is a person who wants to become like Lord Ram. So he wants to become Bhagavan himself by chanting the name of the Lord. So this is the Mayavad type of dependency. So how it relates to our own practice is like this. Sometimes we do services, but somehow the goal of service is not pleasing Krishna and devotee, rather than becoming the what? I will tell you one more story, very interesting story. This is, I think, some devotees say it is told by Prabhupada, some devotees say it is told by some other senior devotee. But the story is very interesting. Like, we can take it for Prabhupada. So once Prabhupada went to a printing press in London or somewhere, where, because initially Prabhupada used to, manage many book distribution, book printing himself initially, because other devotees are not so trained. When he went, he saw one person was sitting in the chair near to that, press, outside the press. So then he said, what are you doing? He says, I am working in this, company. Then Prabhupada asked, because Prabhupada is always anytime you get any opportunity, Prabhupada is preaching. He asked that person, what do you want to become? Then the person says, because he has that access to all the visiting cards of all the people, officers in this company, he takes all the card, he put them in a stack. And he says in the end, this is my card, I want to put it on the top of it. That means his idea of serving that company is to because it's to become the boss of the boss, not as a dasanudas. But somehow that same maybe in material life that is maybe needed, that they want to grow in their corporate ladder. But in Krishna consciousness that doesn't work the same way. We have to progress not on the corporate ladder, but on our consciousness and our humility, our tolerance, and our how we are respecting Vaishnavas. This is our scale of advancement, not the what service I have now. Like somebody was telling, earlier I am HOD. No, he said, earlier I was assistant to HOD. Now later on I became HOD. Now I am I am the COM member. Now I will become vice president. Then I will become president. Then I will become something else like this. So if this is our goal of doing service, then we are at a very wrong stage. So because that is how Maya cheats us actually. This is the dependency of the Krishna is disturbed by giving us the perks. And one devotee was telling, we have already Prabhupada has given us the back to Godhead ticket, which is with us. But Maya says, I am giving golden ticket. मतलब बहुत अच्छा golden ticket मेरे पास है, मैं golden ticket देता हूँ, so that I can take your paper back to Godhead ticket मैं ले लेता हूँ. It is a golden ticket. It's very attractive. You can enjoy. So Maya gives us that enjoyment ticket and takes away our Prabhupada, whatever he has given, the ticket of going back to Godhead. So this is Maya does it very nicely. We don't even understand. So this is we saw 3 examples. So in all the examples, we can understand that how when we are little disturbed, then our Krishna and Nityadas is getting obstructed again and again. So we will recite one amazing shloka, one of my favorite shloka of in this connection by Srila Yamunacharya in the Stotra Ratna. So please recite after me. Bhavantamevanucharam nirantaram prashanta nishesha manoratantaram kadahamaikāntika nitya kinkaram praharshayishyami sanata jivanam. This is amazing. This is a Stotra Ratna. Yamunacharya quotes this. This has a very interesting, I will read the translation. By serving you constantly, one is freed from all material desires and is completely pacified. When shall I engage as your permanent eternal servant and always feel joyful to have such a fitting master? So this is like this Shabda, the last Shamtan is a Sanata Jivitam. Like we have a very famous example of Srila Prabhupada walking on the Juhu beach, where he found, it shows the two dogs. One dog with a master, one on the stray dog, who doesn't have any master. So in our life, how much ever we grow in our devotional size, we may be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 40 years of Krishna consciousness. Still, our life should be a Sanata Jivanam. Like, we should be having that, we should have a master. Otherwise, what happens? What happens if we don't have a master? Our mind is our default master. Like, कोई chair में बैठा नहीं, तुरंत mind बैठ जाएगा. So our de facto temple president of our mind is our mind. Our heart is our mind, where it always guides towards sense enjoyment or what is in it for me. उसका अंदर मेरे लिए क्या मिलेगा? मेरे लिए क्या है उसका अंदर? So that is how mind always diverts us to a not Krishna conscious thoughts. Other than that, the reason is that most of the practicing devotees are in like we can say anartha nivritti stage. So, but we are yet to come to a nishtha. Nishtha, where you practice devotional service in a spontaneous. You like to service, you like to do service, you like to glorify devotees, you like to serve prasadam, you like to give credit to others, you like to any senior devotee comes, you want to serve, or any mood, any service, either you're doing administration, you are doing a cooking, or you're doing deity worship, any service, our mood is to please. Like, Yasya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasado. That is our general mood when we come to the natural stage of Nishtha. But before that, what happens, every time we'll be searching, isko khatam karna hai, ye service khatam karna hai, dusra mein jana hai. And the mind always tends to look for services which are giving credit. Like one devotee was there in one temple, he was asked to do Pujari Seva. Then he said, Prabhuji, I will do when all the people, like, evening or morning, Mangala arati mein or evening arati. I will not do in the noon. Why? He said, noon there are no people outside. Only in the morning people are there, in the evening people are there. I will do Pujari service if I am given either morning slot or evening slot. I will not do in the afternoon. Then it means he is doing Pujari service. The goal is that not to please Lord or please his authorities, rather to how many people are watching me. कौन मेरा फोटो खींच रहा है, कौन क्या कर रहा है यार, मेरे को ग्लोरीफाई करेगा. So that is the goal. Then it becomes Shramaye Havi Kevalam. So it's very subtle, no? The same deity worship, but this is a simple difference, and then it makes the hell and heaven. So much different it makes actually. That's why this Yamunacharya is telling Sanata Jivatam. Our life should be a life of dependency on the Lord, just like Pandavas. Otherwise, we become instead of a dog with a master, we become a stray dog, and nobody can. Then what happens? Then anybody, इनको correction देना है, the temple president, authorities, अरे कैसा correction देंगे? ये किसी को मानता ही नहीं है, किसी को सुनता ही नहीं है. He always finds it difficult because we left this sanata jivitam, we left that pleasing attitude, our यस्य प्रसाद भागवत हम छोड़ दिए. जैसा ही छोड़ देते हैं, तुरंत माया हमको गला पकड़ लेता है. Then we are there, our bhakti getting choked up actually. So this is the amazing sentence. Then Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes that generally the heavy tests are given to devotees who are on the platform of Nishtha. So then somebody asked, Prabhuji, when you come to pure devotional service, we have 6 characteristics. What are the first 2? Kleshagni and Subhada. So, Kleshagni means I should be relieved of all suffering. I should not get any suffering. Then why am I feeling suffering? But the Nishtha devotee knows that the suffering is coming because Krishna has sanctioned us. Somebody is dependent on Krishna, but Krishna sends suffering to them. We can see Pandavas, anybody, so many examples, even Prahlad, whatever example you see in, where the sufferings are coming again and again. So, one devotee, our acharyas explain, there is a specific characteristic, lakshan, I am very difficult shabd in English, but what are the lakshan of the suffering sent by Krishna? See, in material world, we see that example of Punacharvita Charvananam. The materialistic person, because he doesn't have connection to Krishna, he is trying to enjoy material life again and again, but it is Punacharvita Charvananam. He is not giving up. He is getting beaten up, but he doesn't give up. He always continues, I will get, hum honge kamyab ek din. Agle bar, I can enjoy. Like that, we always try to more and more enjoyment. So, and there is endless suffering. There is no end, there is no end card for the suffering in the material world for a materialistic person. For a practicing devotee, the acharyas explain there are 3 lakshan of the suffering sent by Krishna. What is the first one? Krishna has a purpose behind the suffering. It's very interesting, Krishna has a purpose behind the suffering sent by him. And we can see the example of Chitraketu, when he was cursed by the mother Parvati. So, because why he was cursed? The entire pastime, he was, after his entire pastime of, coming back book, where, he comes back and goes, finally he was made the king of Vidyadharas. For so many thousands of years, he was roaming with, all the Vidyadhara planets, associates. And he was enjoying also, he was chanting also, everything he was doing. Then Lord felt, I already gave him darshan, everything, but why he is not coming back to me? So that's how Chitraketu got cursed by the plan of the Lord, by Mother Parvati. So this is that means Krishna's suffering, when it has a meaning. It doesn't have, not like a materialistic person who is repeatedly beaten by Maya. No, Krishna, when he is giving suffering in our life, it has a meaning. And it has a time period also, second aspect. It has a time period when it will end. Just like if you go to school, you take any student, he is there in the class, when he completes, when he completes that particular class, exam he writes, then he will be promoted to the next class. Right? Once he completes that class, then he will be promoted to the next class. So same way, in our life also, when the test come, so if you can try to understand what Lord wants me to learn in this situation, the test will disappear. Again repeat, whenever we understand what Lord wants to teach us in the situation, the test will chala jayega. But test is coming, so I will change the school, because this school is giving me class, I will go to another school. But that test will come again, different teacher, different color of the exam paper, thoda question answer jumble hoga, but again test will come. So the reason why we are repeatedly tested, because we are not putting our energy in understanding what Lord wants to teach us, rather we are trying to counteract the suffering. Our energies we put in counteracting the suffering than trying to understand the reason behind the suffering. So that's why we are given suffering again and again. It's called trauma. Again and again we are traumatized. The reason is that because we are not trying to understand Krishna's plan for us. So, and it has a time period. And third quality of Krishna's, the lakshan of Krishna giving suffering is, He does not give any suffering beyond the ability of the devotee, tolerance. He does not give any time, ऐसा कुछ भी suffering नहीं देगा जो आप tolerate नहीं कर सकते. So that is the another quality of Krishna's suffering. See the difference between Maya suffering, Maya given suffering, and Krishna given suffering. These are the three aspects actually. So in our life, our foremost duty is that, as I discussed, though we have talent, though we have whatever, still we get sufferings. So in that suffering, let us try and understand what Krishna wants us to learn in this situation. What exactly is teaching us. How do you understand that? कैसे समझेंगे वो? कैसे? When we do our day-to-day sadhana of hearing from devotees and also reading Srimad Bhagavatam, so then we get that hint, we get that hint. Like our devotee gave a nice story. There is one person who was caught in the cyclone where so much water is coming, and he was, water is throwing everything in the nadi or whatever, उसमें डाल रहे, river में लेके जा रहे. Then that person was telling, I am praying to Lord, so that's why I will, he will send something. When he was praying, suddenly one boat comes. He says, "Arey, aa jao. We are taking people who are in the water." Then he said, no, I am praying to Lord, वो आएंगे, वो आएगा. So after some time again one big ship comes, kind of a bigger boat, where he says, you come, water has increased, so I bought a bigger boat, come. Then he says, no. The second person also says, I will not come, I will wait for Krishna. And the third, इतना पानी हो गया कि suddenly helicopter आता है, and whoever is remaining, they are throwing the ropes and trying to take him. Then third, the helicopter fellow also, he was telling, no, जरूरत नहीं है, जाओ, Krishna will come, he will take me directly. So that is our main problem. Instead of, he may be junior, senior, equal, whatever, somebody is, telling some good thing, we find, arey, he's a junior guy, he's a senior guy, he's an equal guy, what I will hear, he has so many anardas, वो खुद ही कुछ नहीं करते हैं. So that is our outlet. So that's how, then our outlook makes us miss the mercy which the devotee is giving. That person may not be qualified. Just like a postman, he may not be a rich person. Earlier, he was to give the money order, right? 15-20 साल पहले money order आता. So he used to give the cash. You can say, "Arey, postman fellow, you have 2-wheeler, I have 4-wheeler. What money you can give?" Arey, but he is a postman. You accept the money and utilize it. No? Why you have to worry about the postman? What is his financial condition? So similarly, in our life also, we gave, instead of trying to understand Krishna's plan, we spend our time in counteracting the sufferings and the test which Krishna is giving, and at the same time, we miss the mercy if somebody is trying to help us. उसको भी हम छोड़ देते हैं. Just like this person who did not want to take the help of the rope or the boat. Same way we want, this way I should be helped. This Guru Maharaj will come and help me. That Guru Maharaj will come and that sannyasi should help me. But this person who is your roommate, he is helping. No, I don't want to take help. I am a bigger guy. I want a bigger help. So this is how we, deny the mercy which Krishna is sending in our life. And we suffer perpetually, again and again. So that's why this Aminacharya is saying, if we want to become happy in our life, we should come to this principle of Yasya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasadu, and without any ulterior motive, we should try to please Lord. No, I like the dependency which we said, the Maya was dependency. I am serving you because I want to become like you. I want to sit in the chair. So if that is our goal, then women, if somebody is giving the chair, you take it. But if that is our goal, then that is a big problem. That should not be our goal should be serve. If somebody is offering you some better service, you take it. That's not a problem. But our goal should not be to sit in the chair, that's why I am serving that. That is our, this thing. So that's why, then what happens? By that, just like we climb a ladder and we throw the ladder. We need devotees till the time I become some big person. Once I become big person, I don't want to hear anybody. I will do whatever I want. And then Krishna one day has to remove you from Krishna devotional service. Because we are not ready to bend down in front of devotees and try to learn from our mistakes. So then Krishna, he is not fit for devotional service. Hare Krishna. I have seen so many people, again, those who have wanting to grow, and ऐसा balloon फटा, फिर वो कहीं दिखता ही नहीं अभी. So this is a problem actually. Maya gives you perks. What are the two stories? We told about the cricket children who are playing, and also that person, Prabhupada interacted, no? That person who was putting all the cards, and on top of it, I should have my card. No, and that ice cream machine. These are the three examples we came across. And that amazing shloka of Amanacharya, where the devotee has to become Sanata Jivanam. The devotee should live a life of dependency on the devotees and his authorities and Krishna. Then he will become successful. Otherwise he will be a Shamaya Hai Kevalam. He will become again another failure. Grandraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Any questions? Anyone? Any comments? Prajahari Prabhu. Please forgive me if I said something out of my realization. Hare Krishna. Can we pause? Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.